It's about that time of day again here, folks. Welcome to your nightly newsletter, boys and girls. My name is Joseph James. It's Thursday evening, March 26th, 2015. In tonight's newsletter, this month of March continues to be a wild one. Crude oil is bullish in the long term and very close to being bearish in the short term as it consolidates around $51 a barrel. Now, we expect price to push lower this evening to retest the $50 big round number before we make another attempt to go higher on Friday. Now, a word about crude. The recent violence in the Middle East keeps us trading very carefully tomorrow. We saw what happened overnight. Dramatic movement overnight. And now there's going to be the catch-up game on Friday. All the analysts trying to put together their plan of attack for Friday. So we will take another very close look at these charts on Friday morning. So be careful here overnight. You saw what happened last night. This is why we anticipate, but we always look for proof. Now, how about some gold? Gold is bullish, trading right into the lows of the long-term bull channel. So we're ready to be a buyer on our anchor chart. Expect prices to move higher, though, but we have some clues on gold that we may be in store for a short-term jump up and then a come back to 1200 for tomorrow. So we're going to show you guys what we're looking at for gold on Friday morning. And then how about the Russell? Russell's trading sideways with a slight bullish tone this evening. The E-mini Russell slightly bullish after that monster collapse over the past 2 days. And again, like I said, the month of March is definitely living up to its expectations right now. We will be looking for buying opportunities on the Russell at these range lows. However, we do have a trading range on the Russell right now, and we're watching out for those buyers to fail at these lows. We got some plan for you on the Russell just around the corner. As you can see, we have a jam-packed newsletter for you guys and gals this evening. Before we begin, though, with our charts tonight, I want to remind you guys to make sure you're watching our video on our trading blog at sidewaysmarkets.com. If you're watching the video on our YouTube page right now, there's a link right below the video on the YouTube video that'll take you right to this page. There are 3 reasons why it is in your best interest to be watching this video on our trading blog. First things first, you can download all the charts I'll be using this evening right below the video tonight. Every chart I'm going over this evening in the newsletter video, you can download those charts and have them with you tomorrow anytime you need them. Just click that link below the video. Second thing, I got a free pass for you to come out and test drive our live trade room as a guest. If you're not a member of SchoolOfTrade.com and you'd like more information about what it feels like to be a member in our trade room, I'd love to give you a free pass. You can come out and see us next week in the trade room as a guest. And then, of course, the third thing is we have a mailing list for our nightly newsletter. Now you never have to miss another newsletter ever again. You don't have to worry about when is the newsletter going to be posted. Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll send you an email when that newsletter is ready for you to watch. All I need is your name and your email address. Now, 3 things. Download today's charts, grab your free pass, register for the newsletter. If you register for the newsletter mailing list or you grab your free pass, just be aware I'm going to send you a verification email. So make sure you check your inbox, outbox, spam, junk folders. Make sure you find that verification email that I send to you so you can continue to receive emails from me in the future. All right, guys? Wrapping up a very, very wacky week here this 4th week of the month of March with a finally Thursday evening edition of our nightly newsletter. Helmets on, seatbelts fastened. Let's jump right in here. Starting with the mighty mini Russell. Boy, this Russell got smoked. Got smoked 2 days ago. We were expecting this price to take a little bit of a profit taking, right? And then make the dump down. Blame it on the violence in the Middle East. Blame it on the hedge fund redemption period, end of the 3rd month of the year. It's very difficult to tell why this market collapsed again. But here we have what appears to be a somewhat irrational price action, not really seeing what we typically see. So we're trading carefully here on this Russell, definitely through tomorrow's trading session. You know, we've been doing this a long time here at School of Trade, and when we see things that don't make sense, it causes us to step back a little bit and think, all right, let's let whatever's happening here work itself out, trade carefully. There's so many times during the month that we just make easy money. When things don't quite line up, that gives us that smoke, right? And when there's smoke, there's usually fire. So right away, we know right now in this Russell, what typically happens is not happening right now. So that gives us, again, that little bit of a red flag just to be careful out there right now. And this is going to be across all the markets. We're definitely seeing some very unprecedented volatility. Again, it is the month of March. The last few weeks of the quarter right now, there's hedge fund redemptions. In my opinion, you have not only tax season, spring break, hedge fund redemption period, a lot of stuff's going on right now. The big thing is in the financial markets this time of the year, if you're an asset manager and you're not making your clients money, what happens? You get a phone call right about now saying, give me back my money, right? I don't want to have you managing my account anymore. So traders start doing some really crazy things. I was just talking to some students in the afternoon trade room session for guests this afternoon about this very topic, about this time of the year, the last two weeks of March, always going to be some of the sloppiest time of the year, just because, in my opinion, of that redemption period that clients get at the end of each quarter. And if you're not making your clients money this time of the year, they're going to yank the account. So traders do some crazy things this time of the year. All right, now looking at the Russell here, Russell trading sideways with a slight bullish tone this evening, which tells us to look for buying opportunities at these range lows. Now again, under typical conditions, we would be very, very confident here to be buying this low. Under the conditions we're seeing right now, though, we know that there are some cracks in the sidewalks right now. So we're going to follow our plan. We're going to be looking for the bulls to step in here and have a chance to buy at support levels. We've got higher high, we've got higher lows, but we have to be aware there's a definite trading range here as well. Double bottoms, double tops, you can definitely see there's a trading range. So some scenarios we're looking at right now is with this little bullish channel we see here, we're definitely looking to buy the lows of this, but we're watching out for a possible bull trap at these lows. What I mean by that is look for a very weak set of buyers to enter the market, and if we roll right over, you know where we're going right now. We're going to go right to that range expansion, take this trading range, project it out into the future. Very, very easy to see that, right? So 1207.3. That's going to be an easy target. Again, I'll be watching closely here tomorrow morning, looking for the buyers to step in. If they fail, I will be looking for that short down to 1207.3. Buyers step in. If we see some strength now, back up to the highs, but this is where we have another big concern here, right? Look closely at this right now. What's my directional trend heading lower here, right? It's bearish. We go into this range. We'll be looking for a fake break of the high and then a push lower. Remember, bearish trend into a sideways range, break out to the upside, fake break of the high, and push lower here. So that is the potential. We're definitely watching for the fake break of the high and then the run back at the lows here, following that longer term trend. Again, we'll also be watching for that sellers to fail, right? Pull back, breakout, pull back, and then up to another range expansion. As you can see, there's really two sides to this story here for tomorrow. And as I said earlier, because of the escalating violence, because of the time of year, we're going to take this very carefully on Friday. I hope you'll take my advice as well. Watching closely around those highs and lows, because that's where you're going to see the commitment come in. And once those buyers or sellers fail, that's going to tell you where the best direction is. Come out and see me tomorrow in the trade room. I'll walk you right through all this stuff in real time. This is one of those markets right now, because of what's happened the last 48 hours, we really got to be careful here making any real strong predictions until we see proof tomorrow. I've got my levels ready to go. Now I wait and see what the reaction is around these levels, and I will be watching closely tomorrow morning, of course, to see what happens. All right, moving on here. From the Russell, we move to that yellow metal they call gold futures. Now, gold is definitely bullish, but look where we are on this big bull channel right now, right? We got this bull channel. Mark up the lows. You can see where we are. We're right there at the lows of that bull channel. We have our bull channel on the chart. We're right at those lows. At the same time, you can see a short-term bear channel coming off the highs, a very well-behaved bear channel here today. So this tells me we're most likely going to get some buyers at these lows. I will be looking for price to make a move higher. and then most likely see some buyers try to come in at these lows again and fail. And that will take us back to 1200. Now, there's a little bit more behind the story on this, and I'm going to show you that on the next chart. Sorry for the whistling here. But we know we've got the bull channel, bear channel. Again, we have to give the long-term trend the benefit of the doubt. I would assume here we are going to try to go higher here. Got some reasons to think, though, this may not be all it's cracked up to be, though, going higher. So what I'll be looking for is tomorrow, and I may be wrong, but I'll be looking for, again, the buyers to buy it up. This channel low will still be there, which means when they come off that resistance zone, this is where we draw up our trend line, we look for the new lower low, and we look for those buyers to try to buy it again. And if they fail, you know where we're going. We're going right back to 1200. If we do continue to go higher here, right, if we don't get the buyers to fail, which is what I'm expecting for tomorrow. I shouldn't say expecting, what I'm anticipating for tomorrow. If the buyers don't fail, then we know we're going to be right off of the races here, buying those dips on the way back up to a target, 1219, 1215.6, 1217.4. And then if we really get crazy tomorrow, all the way back up to the high of this bull channel. Okay, so again, got a lot of question marks going in here for tomorrow because of the time of year, end of the first quarter, because of the violence happening in the Middle East right now. I am open-minded to anything at this time, but I have to give the benefit of the doubt to the bulls right now because of that long-term channel, and I will definitely be looking for failure opportunities by those buyers. And again, I'd expect the buyers to buy the pullback. If the pullback fails, we know where we're going, most likely back to that 1200, and then we'll probably end up back around this 1199 to 1194.2 before finishing up the week. All right, there's our gold anchor chart, and then here's the real sweet spot here of why I'm saying I would expect that buyers to come in and fail. This just throws more proof against the wall here. Again, we know that we have that long-term channel on the anchor chart. Now let's zoom in on this area right here. Let's zoom in on this area right here now. And this gives us a little bit more confidence that what we're anticipating is right on track. As you can see here, weren't able to hit that 1200. Very, very surprised. You'll notice they really danced around this number here quite well. I've been pretty surprised about that over the past few sessions. We see we have this short-term bear channel coming down, right? We just saw that on the anchor chart. But now here's a really big clue. We break off into a sideways range, flat moving averages, double bottoms, triple, quadruple tops, and then look at this. We get a fake break of that low. Now guys, you may or may not know this, but when the markets break out of a range like this, they usually fail the first time. When they break against the trend, we look for a trap, right? So if they were to break up, we'd look for a trap and sell it back down. When they break down, though, with the trend, we look for a breakout retrace to continue that move. As you can see right now, what are we getting? We get a breakout, but that retrace did not continue. We call that a fake out breakout, and with that fake out breakout at the lows like this, it makes all the sense in the world for price to at least run up to this 1211.6 area. This is the battle zone for us, most likely in the overnight and early morning session. This is where we'd expect to see price go back up, and it's all because of this fake break of that low without continuing to go lower, right? It should continue to go lower. I mean, heck, you got 1200 sitting right there. It's pretty obvious here these sellers tried and they have failed, and they've tried once, twice, this will be third time, they're going to give up here. These buyers are running up here. I've got resistance level, resistance level, resistance level. If I had to guess right now, I would say we make it back up to this 1211.6. And then from there, once again, this is very, very similar to the anchor chart, right? The anchor chart gave us 1210 to 1212. We have 1211.6 to 1213. So we're right in the same area here. We got lots of important levels of resistance there. So again, wait for price to go up. And what I would do is wait for the buyers now to try and buy it. And then once we see a nice big fat juicy red candle, you got it. right back down here again, and then they should be able to finish that move off that they were trying to make earlier. Okay, once again, we'll be watching this price like a hawk tomorrow. We know that this time of year and with the violence in the Middle East, really anything can happen here. And I keep encouraging guys to be very, very careful tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be one of those days where it's the end of the week. You know there's going to be a lot of funny business in the market tomorrow. And again, with this time of the year, though, you just know the sharks are going to be out here doing some crazy things with this price action. Come out and see me tomorrow in the trade room, and I'll walk you through it in real time. How about this crude oil? Crude oil is also bullish. No surprise that we jumped up big time overnight, right? We had the violence, of course. Literally right when I sent my newsletter out last night, that's when we got the big news alert, right, that the airstrikes had begun. And, of course, you saw what happened next. We actually wrote it back in the trade room. We wrote it all the way back to 50 today. Made some pretty good money off that move back lower. Now we're coming in, right? So we came in this morning at 8 a.m. in our trade room. We see it up here in astronaut territory, and of course, sell right back down to that 50. What we did was we looked for the buyers to keep trying and fail, buyers to keep trying and fail, buyers to keep trying and fail. That's the way you make the easy money in a bullish trend like this, right? You're not going to sell in a bullish trend very aggressively. You're going to wait to see the buyers try and fail, and that's exactly what we did almost flawlessly today in our live trade room. Now, crude oil, again, we can easily see we get a bullish uptrend, right? Long-term bullish, but we're very close to being bearish. Now, remember, here's the way that I define a change in trend. Okay, so we're going higher, we're going higher, we're going higher. It's very obvious we have a bullish trend. One of the most common questions I get is, how do you know when you're a bear? Well, the reality is just a break lower is not enough to call me a bear, right? That, in my opinion, at this stage in the process, is just a great buying opportunity for the bulls. Now we have to see those bears hold. The bulls are going to take it, but if the bears can hold, once we see that low, once we see a new lower low, and once we see lower highs, yeah, then we know now we're bearish. So right now we are right there, right? Right now we're right there on the crude chart, okay? Right at $51 a barrel. So we know that we're just teetering. We're just teetering on this short-term bearish, right? So we're going higher, higher highs, higher lows, and then we, again, you'll notice here, undershoot the channel high. We make a lower low here. If we hold and go lower, now we are back to being a bear again. Again, got to be careful this time of the year, and more importantly, with what's happening in the Middle East right now, a lot of armchair traders are going to be participating. What that means is traders who are watching this on their television sets, they're going to come in and start letting their emotions trade for them, basically trading the headline reports that you see on CNBC and Bloomberg right now. So be very careful with this tomorrow. I'll be trading it short-term in the trade room tomorrow, but long-term here, it's a very big challenge because of all the external stuff going on out there. Remember, we have to know our limits. And as professional traders, we know that from time to time, there are situations that develop. There are circumstances that come into these markets. They're very short term, but we have to be smart enough. We have to be aware that when this stuff like this starts to happen, what normally works, it becomes very irrational price action, and it's a lot more difficult. You really got to be careful. So be careful on this crude. Definitely until we see what it looks like at the end of the day tomorrow and into Monday morning. All right, just because we know how big that move was today. It was definitely a fear reaction today in the markets. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up at $50 a barrel by the end of the day tomorrow. So we'll be definitely looking for a couple things here. Okay, let's go over it. We expect price to push lower to retest 50, okay, before we make our next push higher on Friday. Again, the violence in the Middle East keeps us trading very carefully, so we'll be watching this for tomorrow. So the short-term bear channel, the lower low, the lower high, we will expect this price to come down. If you look at the undershoot of the major channel high, and I know I said this last night, but remember, last night we had something very dramatic interrupt this situation, right? We had a definite breakdown of the price action patterns. because of that violence that erupted, right? Remember, that's what caused that spike. This wasn't natural price act. This was not rational movement. You can tell it wasn't rational because look where it came. It went right back to 50 again, right? So you can tell the fear drove the market, right? That irrational price action drives it up. We pull back. Now we're going to see here, like I said, we are literally inches away from failing back to 50, and then we're going to pick this up tomorrow morning, most likely back down around 50, assuming nothing else happens in the Middle East here, right? Assuming we don't have another round of violence here that hits the headline newspapers for tomorrow morning, so we shall see. Okay, if we do push lower, look closely. You'll see a measured move target down here at 48.94. So we're definitely looking at big round numbers for tomorrow. 50 and 49 are definite targets for me. If we happen to get some violence reports overnight and this thing takes off again, it'll be anyone's guess as far as where we end up tomorrow morning, and we'll take a close look at it tomorrow morning when we open up our live trade room. Bottom line, long-term bullish, short-term bearish. I will be looking for shorts off these highs back down to 50. The easiest way to get short in a bullish trend, what was it again? Wait for the buyers to try and fail. And if you need more help on that, you know where we are. Come out and see me tomorrow in the trade room, and I'll walk you right through it. Now, here is a really important chart here. Not a lot on this chart, but this chart really tells us a really valuable story as we go into tomorrow's trading session. Looking at the crude price action chart, again, we know we're long-term bullish, but here is a short-term bullish channel with another example of an undershoot of the high, and you'll notice we made the overshoot of the low. So this is why, once again, I'm going to say we are an inch from collapsing back to that 50, because this overshoot is expected, right? We're expecting that lack of strength to the upside results. The tops equal the bottoms, right? The highs equal the lows. So we expect that undershoot to be roughly the same amount as the overshoot. We got the overshoot now, and now if we don't go here higher, we are going to end up back at that 50 area. You can see a lot of action here earlier today around that same area. So we'll be watching this very, very closely here to see if these buyers take it. Now, if the buyers do take it, expect this to go relatively quickly up to that 52.36. So again, if the bulls hold right here, okay, look for a measured move up to most likely 52.36, possibly 53, the big round number. Okay, if the bulls hold, my gut tells me, though, they're not going to hold here right now. My gut doesn't matter, though, obviously. It's whatever we see on the chart. Okay, so if I had to guess right now, I would say just looking at the way this thing worked here, it pushed right through the moving average, pushed right down into it. The big green candle doesn't look too bullish anymore, right? That's a pretty bearish, pretty weak-looking green candle here. These buyers just tried, and if they fail, we're going back to 50. And then check this out. That measured move target, A, B, C, D, that puts us right to 49. So once again, we're seeing multiple time frames confirming support at 50 and 49.02. We'll definitely use those for targets, short-term selling opportunities. And again, we really have a big question mark because of the time of year and because of the violence we're seeing in the Middle East. So please be careful with this stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow is not the day to be testing out a new strategy on a live account. Tomorrow's not the day to be going from your simulated account to your live account. If it's your first day trading live tomorrow, I would recommend give it 24 more hours. Let this cloud of dust kind of settle. Right, and come see me tomorrow in the trade room because I'll walk you through what we're seeing right at 8 a.m. tomorrow when we open things up. You don't have to go about this on your own, guys. We're always here to help here at School of Trade. And wrapping things up here, before we wrap up for tomorrow, don't forget, I do my newsletter Monday through Thursday. I will not see you guys tomorrow. So don't forget, last one of the week, download the charts, grab your free pass, register for our nightly newsletter mailing list, and if you happen to have some free time out there today, I know we're all busy people, check out my free trial. We get a great free trial here at School of Trade. We have the best free trial in the business. You're going to learn more with me in 1 week than you'll learn anywhere else on the interwebs. I'll tell you that much right now. We have 3 levels of membership. We have lifetime memberships. We never charge junk fees. And of course, once you're a member for life here with us. Unlimited access to our trade rooms, unlimited access to our chat rooms, unlimited access to all of our software, and we have somebody standing by here 24/7, 365 to give you guys a hand. Guys and gals, awesome job this week. It's been pretty crazy the past 48 hours. We're making money every day this week in our trade room, no matter what the market looks like. So come out and see us tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We open up our live trade room. Join the free trial. I'll see you next week on your free pass if you're not a member yet. And before I let you guys go, don't forget, be well out there. Be nice to each other. Have a great weekend if I don't see you guys tomorrow in the trade room. I'll see you Monday afternoon. Monday, we're back here again for our Monday edition of our newsletter. You guys be well out there. My name is Joseph. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.